I am willing to compromise. I've said all along I'm willing to compromise from my plan to some other plan, as long as it provides tax relief to people, but we got to get to it now. I'm tired of waiting, and so are you. And I'll tell you this, if July 1st comes, and that tax cut is not there for you, you can count on me running all over the state telling you who denied you that tax cut. And it's going to, I guarantee you, number one on the list will be those Assembly Democrats if it doesn't happen. And you need to be telling them up here in Bergen County, Paul Sarlo's crew up here, all right? You need to be telling them, well, what are you doing? Why are you denying us tax relief when the governor says we can afford to do it? In fact, that we need it to spur our economy to further growth? What are you doing? What are those folks doing up here who are supposed to be representing you in Trenton? You know, I don't know. But I'll tell you what they are spending a lot of time doing. We'll end with this, because this is one of my favorites. I'll tell you what they are doing. They're continuing to stonewall me on reforming the sick pay system. And you've read about this, I'm sure. You know, this is when public employees accumulate all their sick days, and then at the end of their careers, they get a huge check. And I mean huge. I'm talking six-figure checks. In fact, some of these public employees call these checks their boat checks. And you say, boat checks? Why do they call it boat checks? They say, that is the check they use to buy their boat for their retirement that they take to the Jersey Shore. And it comes from you. Now, how big are these checks? We had 4 police officers in Parsippany, in Morris County, retire at one time. They got checks totaling $900,000 between the 4 of them. $900,000. The town had to bond. It had to borrow money to make the payments. There's a bit of a manufacturing comeback going on in other parts of this country, and it's not happening here. And the reason it's not happening here is because we're not competitive. It's what I was talking about before. Now, I'm doing a bunch of things to try to make us more competitive. First is lowering taxes. We got to get that done. I mean, we just can't be the 3rd highest income tax rate in America, behind only California and Hawaii, and believe that people are going to voluntarily choose to come here. Not only the businesses themselves, but why would new employees want to transfer here and pay, if they're in Pennsylvania right now, pay 3% income tax and come to New Jersey and have on the high end a tripling of that income tax? Secondly, our regulations have to get restricted. You know, we have too many regulations, and in the first year of this administration, we cut the Corzine regulations by 1/3 in 1 year. We're continuing to knock those down, and what's happening now, of course, is some of the people here who just love to regulate everything are suing us over it. Fine, sue us. I'm trying to make the state more competitive. Third is, this is something that has been worked on that's a little more subtle but really important, especially for the manufacturing jobs. We have one of the highest costs of electricity anywhere in the country. And we've seen those electric rates start to come down, but one of the things this administration's done, and just was successful at doing, is we're going to have 3 more electric generation plants that are going to create 2,000 megawatts of energy built here in New Jersey.
During a recession, shouldn't the government spend more money, not less, because corporations and people are all pulling back? So if the government were to spend more money, then they're putting more money in the economy.
Well, here's the thing. Except the money we spend is yours. It's not like we're spending somebody else's money. It's not like the money tree, okay? And so, you know, the federal government has printed more and more money. The last 4 years, we're going to have run $1.5 trillion in debt every year for the last 4 years. Printing money, borrowing money from foreign countries, we can't sustain that. And so maybe you might be right. I wouldn't agree with you, but some people might say you were right if we were in a zero-debt world. We have tens of trillions of dollars in debt that will not be paid off in your lifetime. Forget mine. Won't be paid off in your lifetime. And so my concern is, if we count on government to continue to sustain our economy, we've seen government-run economies before. It's called the Soviet Union. They don't work. They don't work. And you know, America has been a great economy over the years because government has been the place of last resort for anybody in terms of trying to prop up our economy.